A lot has developed with the strike action recently. The FXU is ready to take action. Vice-Chancellors across the country have U-turned, and an occupation has begun on main campus. On Friday morning, we met with FXU Exeter President Dean Pomeroy and Student Voice Director Ben Rouswell to discuss the student union's position on the strike action so far, as well as to clarify the situation with the ongoing vote. The meeting was very productive, and so we are cautiously confident that the vote will directly affect their position, rather than just being an opinion poll, as some have called it. At this stage, a referendum would just be too lengthy a process and wouldn't help us, and from the FXU perspective, this kind of vote allows them to have more flexibility over a very nuanced issue, meaning that in a vote of support, they could represent the, we'll guess, 70% of full support for strike action, whilst simultaneously being able to still represent those with doubts or who do not support it, and really address their concerns. At this stage, we are contented that this will be enough. It will have to be, given the lateness of the hour at which they act, but we are still prepared, should the moment call for it, to push for a referendum. Meanwhile, across the country, Vice-Chancellors have begun to U-turn on their position, including those at Bristol, Imperial, Kent, and even Oxford and Cambridge, all of whom are beginning to accept greater risk and call for a separate body of expert academics to assess the valuation. In each case, the unity of the staff and student voice has directly led to them backtracking and now advocating a position of support for the UCU position. Unfortunately, our own Vice-Chancellor, Sir Steve Smith, reiterated in an email to staff yesterday his strong, principled reasons for the position and his hardline stance. Since Monday, students at our sister campus of Streatham have been part of an occupation at Northcote House, the executive building of the university, to demand that the executive U-turn, like others since have, to take a position of support. They have now been there for over 100 hours, despite the initially horrendous treatment of the orders of Registrar Mike Shaw-Nye, whilst the Vice-Chancellor himself left the country. The Vice-Chancellor clearly has his own defined reasons for his position, but his determination to stick his head in the sand over the problems faced by our staff is ridiculous, and we urge him to listen closely and ultimately put the interests of his staff first, or risk his institution being left behind. Next week will be the final week of the strikes, with strike action occurring on all 5 days. On Monday and Friday, only from 8 till 10, the picket line will be down the hill from the bus stops at the entrance, and even if you can only spare 5 minutes, it is a great boost of morale for staff to be able to see your support. On all 5 days, our student activists will be outside the campus building, ready to answer questions and show our support for the strikes. You will be able to sign the petition on the picket line if you haven't done so already, and even stand with us. We appreciate all the help we can get. The vote for the FXU to take action in support closes at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, and we urge you to vote. We will hopefully send representatives to see the all-student leadership team announce the results and decide on what they will do next. If all goes well, the FXU could well be out in support from Wednesday morning. We ask that you please turn out to show your support, as the greater showing we can muster, the more Steve Smith will have to pay attention. Further, if the strike action by Friday has achieved no compromise between the UUK and UCU, the union is prepared to push for an additional 14 days of strike action between April and June. No one wants this, but many staff just cannot afford to lose an estimated 10 grand a year in pensions and will strike as long as is necessary to safeguard their futures. If you want to get in touch with us, or just follow everything that is happening, you can follow us on social media, or email myself, Tom Fowler. Here at Exeter Penryn, our students stand in solidarity with their staff. Thank you.